Hi Stampers! Jackie Bolhuis from Klompen Stampers. I am back today with a quick and easy video. And I guess today's you could call a technique, but you know the word technique can kind of be scary because sometimes we think that means it's hard. Oh no, Jackie doesn't do anything hard. You should know that by now. It's a quick and easy technique that really gives you some dramatic effects. Now, before I flip the camera down, just a quick reminder, if you have not already subscribed to my channel, please do so, and please give me a thumbs up. I truly appreciate it, and it helps me to be able to continue to do like 3 videos a week. I think I'm doing almost now, so I'd appreciate it, and share it with your friends as well. And also, if you don't already have a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, I would love to earn your business and be your demonstrator. If you need a catalog, make sure to let me know. I'd be happy to send you one, or if you have any questions, I'm here to help. Now, with that, let's flip the camera around because I want to show you these beautiful cards. Now, sadly, our cards today are actually sympathy cards, but I do get asked all the time for sympathy card ideas. And, you know, it's one of those cards that probably means more to someone than any other cards that we send. So I've combined 2 stamp sets. Now, this one, the waterfront, shouldn't be a stranger if you've been following me for a while. I have shared some cards with it before, and the cards actually use the same technique that I'm going to share with you today. But I thought I would do it again because I honestly love the stamp set, but every time I pick it up to make a card, I have to do this technique. So I thought I would share it with you again. Like I said, it's easy, and it's for those of you that have been stamping for a long time, or even those of you that are beginner stampers. You will love the looks of this. It really makes you feel like an artist. Now, instead of using the greetings that are in this stamp set, I pulled out this one called Kindness and Compassion. If you're one that has to make sympathy cards quite often, it is the absolute perfect greeting set for in a sympathy card. It's got great words for on the inside and the outside, beautiful fonts. This is one you definitely want to add to your collection. And you can go ahead and combine those with anything. Here we're doing scenery, but they'd be beautiful with any flowers or really just about any type of images. Now, let's talk about our cards. I kept them very simple. I wanted just the dramatic black and white. And so we've got 2 different ones. The cardstock's exactly the same on both, and they're pretty much stamped the same. I just changed the words out a little bit. But I want to show you how I stamped my images, because I did use a little bit of water and my AquaPainter. I kind of feel like these images really lend to that watercolor look. Like I said, makes you feel like an artist. And if I don't use water on them, I kind of think they're a little blah. So just my opinion, but take that for whatever it's worth. So we're going to go ahead, and I'm going to go ahead and stamp one of these and show you how I got that water look. Now, with this, the key, well, I shouldn't say key, one of the keys is I wanted to make sure I did my greeting first, because I want to make sure it's placed down here in the bottom and doesn't really interfere with the stamped part of it, okay, the scenery part of it. So we have our Memento Black, and we're going to just come down here. I kind of want it towards the bottom, a little bit over to the right. Now I am using the shimmery white cardstock. Whenever you use water, that whisper white just does not work well. Okay, so if you're doing something with water, you want to use either shimmery white or watercolor paper. Honestly, my preference is the shimmery white. I like the color, I like the smooth finish, and I don't know if you can see, but it does have a little shimmer, a little bit of sparkle into it that just adds a little bit to our card. Now, to do our scene, this stamp set just has lots of what I like to call parts and pieces. And we're going to start out by using soft suede and I don't even know how to describe these. I can't really say the flower, the leaf, the whatever. So this is just kind of our line image here. Now, the key to doing this technique I'm doing is you want to do one piece at a time, and then you want to take your AquaPainter. Now, when you give it a little squeeze to get it going, you can see I've got water flowing there. So right after I stamp, and you don't want to wait too long because you do not want it to dry, you're going to just smear over what you just stamped. And this is what's given us the watercolor look. Now, give it a couple of seconds to dry. You know, like I said, do one at a time. But when you go to switch colors, you really want to clean this off. Fuzzies here. On your paper. So we're going to get that color ink off. That was soft suede. And let's go ahead and put some mountains in here. Like I said, we're really just building a scene, so to speak. So we'll go ahead, we'll stamp our mountain there, and I'm using that, it's the crumb cake, so it's a little bit lighter, kind of puts a little bit of distance off to it. Okay, again, smear those colors out. And if you want to build your mountain scene to make it kind of a range of mountains, we can stamp a second one there. And again, use that water. Okay, blend that out. And this is where you want to really, stamp one image and bring that water in right away because you don't want it to dry on you. So next, let's see, let's go ahead and do our trees. So we've got shaded spruce, and we want those down here in our land. And again, okay, just make sure you get that crumb cake off there. And then I'm just, smearing it down. Okay, I'm not staying in any lines, not trying to make any perfect lines. Okay, there's our trees. And then if you want a little bit of water, like I did on that one, call this one our water stamp. And we want to make sure we kind of stay away, don't run into our greeting. That's why I did that greeting first. And then once again, our water. So it's just stamp, water, and you can just play around. You can build all kinds of amazing scenes with these pieces. So you can see here, this one I didn't put the mountains in, this one I put the mountains in. You can do as much or as little. I'll have a link down in the description of the video to the other kinds I've made with the same stamp set, same technique, because I did kind of build my scene a little bit bigger. But for this one, I just like that classic, little bit of image, nice and a lot of white space on that. Now there's one other part of this. Can you see the little black speckles? When you look in the stamp set, there is this one stamp. It's a speckle stamp. Those of you that have been stamping for years, I think when I first started 24 or some years ago, speckling was a big deal. We did this all the time. Now, I thought that for my likes, this speckle stamp, as you can see, is now in two pieces. It was one. It was that size. And I could put it together on a block if I wanted it big again, but it was just a little bit too big for my liking. I wanted to be real gentle and just little speckles. I think it just, when you compare these two cards, to me, it just kind of finishes that off a little bit. Now, when you're using this, and hopefully this is dry enough, you want to make sure this is good and dry because you don't want this to bleed at all. But ink it up in black, and then you want to use a super, super light touch. Barely touch it. And then I did it a second time, barely touch it. And that's it. Don't overkill it. Sometimes we tend to have that heavy hand and just want to overkill it. And that's it. So I would layer this onto a piece of basic black and then onto a card base. I did use the shimmery white card stock for my card base as well because I wanted to put a little bit of that watercolor look on the inside. Plus, I think this cardstock's a little bit heavier than the normal Whisper White. So it's a little bit more, I guess, substantial when you're making a card that you don't have a lot of layers on. Take a peek on this one. Same thing, I added a little bit on the inside. So I hope you like this project and this technique. Like I said, makes you feel and look like an artist, but it's simple and you don't need a lot of things. If you don't have an AquaPainter, which these things are great because it holds the water, you could even use a paintbrush and just dip it in a little bit of water. Just make sure you don't get too much water. You don't want it real dripping. You want it more just kind of damp, and again, a light hand on that. Don't get heavy-handed on that. I really hope you like these projects today. If you'd like to order the waterfront set, I tell you, it's a staple in my collection. I love this set. It is so much fun to play with. Make sure you check out all the other cards I use with it because you can put these parts and pieces together so many different ways to create all different scenes. So as always, if you guys have questions, ask me. I love questions and I love to help you learn to make quick and easy cards. So I look forward to hearing from you. Leave me a comment. Get a hold of me if I can help you with anything. So until I get to stamp with you again, have a stamp happy day.